Hello, good afternoon. It is Toffee TV. It is the Daily Live. And on today's Daily Live, because there's not much going on, we are asking, who would you choose? Kyle Walker-Peters or Vladimir Coufal? They're two free transfers, both linked with moves to Everton, amongst other clubs. If you had to choose, James,
I mean,
who would you go for?
I feel like it's almost a bit of an obvious one. I think I'd go for Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah.
You know what? He's 28, just turned 28, and Coufal's 32, isn't he? And I know MOYES has worked with Coufal before, but I feel like we had a 40-year-old and a 36-year-old or whatever going fighting for right back last season. That we want someone who's a bit younger. I think as well, if you're signing Kyle Walker-Peters, we've still got Jake O'Brien there who can play right back, and we've got Patterson. And Kyle Walker-Peters can also cover for left back too, which he's done. So he provides that sort of like coverage for both sides. Whether it stops us buying a left back or not, it gives you more of an option to like invest your money elsewhere for now, while you can fill in for that spot. So I think Kyle Walker's just a good player in general as well. I know he's been at Southampton, but there's a lot of competition as well going after him. I think Tottenham and like West Ham and stuff want him too. So it'd be hard to get, but it'd be definitely worth it, wouldn't it? But Coufal, it's not a signing that moves you, is it?
No, it's definitely not. No, I think we do need a... Like I said yesterday, I think O'Brien will play right back.
Yeah.
But Walker-Peters can do two jobs and he's free. So therefore, why on earth would we not get him? The only thing stopping it is, does he want to move up north? Don't know. Did you say Spurs were linked with him?
Yeah.
Why would he go back to Spurs?
I know. And they've got Porro and Spence as well.
Yeah, it's just... We'll have Jed Spence off Tottenham.
I'll take him, yeah.
But no, it'd be Walker-Peters all day for me. 4 years younger, can do two jobs. I think he's just better than Coufal.
Same with West Ham, though. They're linked to him too, and they've got Wan-Bissaka, who I think's really good.
Well, people will be trying to take him now, won't they? Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's free, he's Premier League experienced. Why wouldn't you try to take him?
Yeah.
He played 30-odd games last season for Southampton, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't score a goal, by the way. Kyle Walker-Peters. Yeah. From 2.3 created, 24 chances. I know that Coufal...
Leeds are also after him.
Yeah. Do you reckon there's 6 after Coufal?
Wolves
and Fulham, apparently. Apparently so. So that's an interesting one. He played a lot of games as well. No goals, no assists. I just think, for me, Walker-Peters is the clear winner.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I get the links with Moyes. 11 matches, Coufal started that at 22, compared with Walker-Peters started 33 matches. They both got 5 bookings. It'd be Walker-Peters all day for me.
Yeah, I think age-wise and stuff as well, it just makes the most sense. There's probably a reason why we're the only ones who I think are after Coufal. Or was there anyone else that was mentioned that are going after?
Fulham.
Fulham are after him?
Yeah, and Leeds.
Ooh, yeah. Well, they can have him and we can take Kyle Walker-Peters instead.
Even Wolves, I think, were interested in him, but take him. He's 33 in August.
Yeah.
And we've just let a 40-year-old go. We've just let... Seamus Coleman, we're waiting for the decision, but we expect him to stay so he's the experienced mid-30s right back. I just think, me personally, I wouldn't take him, back him, obviously get behind him if he comes in as an Everton player, but I just think there's better options.
Yeah.
I think there's better options. And like you said, Walker-Peters can do the other side as well, which is important unless we're going to go and get an actual left back as well to challenge Mykolenko. And if you watch our fullback video, then you might see who we've got down to do that job. Carl says Coufal is 32. We need a younger right back also. Paul Hopley says Walker Peters all day. Welcome to Philip Corrie. He's a YouTube member. Gareth Buscombe says, good afternoon, gents. If we don't get Grealish, would you consider Sancho at Everton?
Yeah. I'd take Sancho at Everton. I feel like when he went to Dortmund and the pressure was off him, he became good again, didn't he? I think as well for Chelsea, he had good periods. It was just he couldn't really maintain it. And so it depends though how much you pay him, because Chelsea there to pay 150 grand a week, didn't they? But no transfer fee, but then had to pay 5 million because they didn't want to keep him permanently. And I wouldn't be willing to pay as much for Sancho, like wages wise, as I would Grealish. So I don't think paying 150 grand a week's worth it for him. But he's an improvement and he's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Chris Hyam says, is Kenny Tetty not on a free? Have a look at Tetty is. Again, he's it. Remember me and Piv doing a video and Kenny Tetty was in it before he come over and play for Fulham.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, his contract expires the end of June.
Maybe that's why Fulham are looking at Coufal. Maybe Tetty doesn't want to stay there. But yeah, I like Kenny Tetty. Decent player. How old is he now? 28? 29.
Turning 30 in October.
He's almost halfway out, isn't he?
22 appearances, no goals, 2 assists. It's interesting. Who plays right back for Fulham, mainly?
Must he have 22? Did he go to 3 at the back in the end? Because Robinson's basically like a left wing back, isn't he?
Yeah.
I thought it was Tetty.
I thought it was as well, but 22.
16 other games.
Yeah, it is Tetty. Well, that's what Mob was saying.
Yeah. Don't know. Carl Byron says Walker Peters has that precious pace. Ken says, I guess there's no future for Roman Dixon if we're going for Walker Peters. No, doesn't seem like anyway, does it? It's a case of he needed to go on loan.
Yeah.
And Evan didn't get out on loan, and I don't know, to be honest. The negotiating, Carl, I imagine is being done by Nick Hammond. So, Nick Hammond, yeah. I think Moyes will have identified who he wants, and Hammond will go off to try to do the deal. That's how it is.
Is Angus Kinnear involved now as well?
Well, he's the CEO, should be there, but the actual negotiating, he did this.
Because I don't know, I was reading something where there's like a committee now for all transfers where they've all got to be involved with it.
But the actual negotiating will be done by Hammond. Kieran Dunn says Garner at right back and McNeil at left back, and 2 new wingers. No.
We're not better than Michaelenko and Jake O'Brien.
No. McNeil can't tackle.
Yeah.
It's quite key for your fullbacks. That's why Michaelenko's so good at doing it. Dan says Castagne played right back. Yeah, he had a few games, didn't he? But obviously Tetty played the majority.
Yeah.
Robbie says Walker Peters because he's got more versatility at left back and right back, and plus he's younger. Yeah.
So say if we did get Walker Peters, would you still be wanting to keep Jake O'Brien at right back? Would he be coming in to sort of be the number 2 in a way?
Well, he'd have to be, because O'Brien's done nothing wrong yet, has he? The thing is, I guess the one thing you'd have to say is we don't know if Tarkowski's going to be fit for the opening few games. You know, he's had that injury.
Yeah.
Everton are hoping he's a quick healer and he can get into pre-season quickly. So it might, who knows, we might end up with O'Brien and Branthwaite centre-backs for the opening couple of games.
Yeah.
We might not. Tarky might be fine. If that was the case, then obviously Walker Peters would get in and you'd have to see what happens there. But who knows, really? We're discussing it because it's Everton have been linked very clearly with both of these players. They're both free. so it's not a big outgoing. We'll see. Gary Ward says, howdy. Colin says, why can't he go for both? Well, why would we want both?
We've got loads of right backs.
We've got 15 right backs then. Eddie says, shouldn't be signing free agents over 33. David says, morning gents, congratulations to David Moyes on his royal recognition, fully deserved. Jimmy K says, Walker-Peters all day and twice on a Sunday versus Coufal. We don't need to become the West Ham of the North. Yeah. Josh says, afternoon guys, after a long battle with cancer, my dad passed away 2 days ago. He was an avid viewer of the channel and the reason why I'm a blue. Thank you guys for the videos. They provide a much needed distraction. Josh, really sorry to hear that, mate. Awful news. If we help in any small, tiny way, then good. Yeah. But thoughts are with you and your family, mate. Yeah. Nathan says, sorry to hear about your dad, Josh. Thoughts are with you and your family. Yeah, back onto footy there. Paul says Walker-Peters out of those two. Mike Raff says no to both. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gary Ward says Walker-Peters. DP says, why would we sign a player who West Ham didn't even want to keep? Makes no sense. We need to stop signing players who can't run. Correct. Steve, that should be the outlook. Absolutely, it should. Luke says, I'd take Kyle Walker-Peters, but would miss Coufal. I think he means like Coufal go by, yeah. Tom Max this afternoon, lads. You think either of those improved the team that much?
I think Kyle Walker gives you the better option, doesn't he? I think Coufal, you're sort of doing the same as Ashley Young in a way where he's not really someone for the future and he's not really... You can't really see him being here next season or the season after. Stopgap, innit? Yeah. But with Kyle Walker-Peters, he's what, 28 we said, doesn't it? You could see him here for a few years and you could see him, you know, at least battling and give him real competition to O'Brien to perform well and even opening up that he goes into centre half. So I think Walker-Peters makes a difference, but Coufal now.
Yeah. I agree. Jake says Walker-Peters 100%, but if needs must, we might have to bulk the squad heading towards the end of the window with free signings that may not be glamorous names. Yeah. Nathan says Walker-Peters would be a better versatile option at the back, consistent, still has room to progress. I asked Coufal if we could have Dean back when he was in the box in Perth for a pre-season game. He dead set wasn't having it. Why are you asking Coufal? Can we have Luca Dean back?
I don't get that at all.
Is Coufal Luca Dean's manager or something? Let me know. Steve P says if I was Patterson after what's already happened so far, then seeing us sign Coufal, I consider changing my sport. Okay. Everton Viking says the answer is neither. We need to stop signing not very good backup players, I'm paraphrasing. Coufal has been awful for 2 years and there's a reason West Ham can't wait to get rid of him. He's declined massively. Walker-Peters is better, but why are we signing him? We don't even need a backup right now. We have Patterson and we have O'Brien. O'Brien shouldn't be the starting right back as good as he has been. If we're going to sign a right back, it needs to be someone who's coming in to challenge for a 13th place and improve us. A modern attacking full back and the same on the left. Mark Max's no to Sancho. We've been rubbish for 2 years. No different than having Damari Gray back. I'd actually rather have Townsend than Sancho. Okay. Jake says, I've been watching some old games recently and I watched England-Germany, Euro 96. Everyone goes on about Southgate's penalty and Gaza missing by an inch. But Darren Anderton's miss is one of the worst I've seen. Yeah, Anderton did miss an absolute sitter. Paul Davies says, all right, lads. Hello, Paul. Martin Armstrong says, I'd have neither. To be honest, I think Walker-Peters wants a London move anyway. I'd bring Luca Dean back.
I know, but then we just fall into the trap that we're trying to do with Richarlison and John Stones and stuff where you just got to sort of let them go and get the new ones in, haven't we? Although I would love Digne back.
He's still brilliant, though.
Oh, yeah, when you see him, some of the crosses he still puts in for them. It just makes you look at our fullbacks and just sigh.
again, just to reiterate, we're just discussing it because it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, in an ideal world, we'd have new players coming in. We're just discussing it because they are out there.
I just really want Nathan Hamlin to explain why he asked Coufal about that.
Yeah, why Coufal
Just keep refreshing.
was going to make the decision on Luca Dean. It's an interesting one.
Got confused with the Claret and Blues.
Stephen Ramsdale says, afternoon boys, surely Roman Dixon is knocking on the door. He looks a tidy player. I don't think so, to be honest. I think Everton are looking to offload him. He's got the pace, Roman. He's nowhere near it.
Why do you think, though? Do you think it was just he was pressured into it? Why Dice started against Tottenham?
Of course it was.
It was just pressure, yeah.
Because the fans were demanding it and he didn't have an answer. When he hasn't got an answer, he panicked.
Yeah. It came sort of, I don't want to say out of nowhere,
we had to play him.
Surprising, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he should have been given a go, but...
I don't think he was too bad.
No.
I mean, we did lose 4-0, but I thought...
It wasn't really his fault, though, was it?
As a whole, he looked alright and he looked rapid.
James says, surely we should be looking at other leagues for these players. There must be frees there. Robbie, also a YouTube member like James, says it feels harsh on Jake O'Brien because he's been brilliant as a makeshift right back, but to get to those levels we want, we need a proper right back, and Jake O'Brien in the middle, whether the centre back leaves or is phased out. Yeah. Semi-Charm Life, a YouTube member, says Taki's a bit older, so can't expect a quick recovery, but we'll see. Savage Reefer says O'Brien's better than all of those right backs mentioned. And Paul Hopley says Nelson Semedo, isn't he out of contract?
Wasn't they put out saying that they've offered him a new contract, and then I think he was linked with, like, I don't know, a few French teams and stuff. Google it.
Sean says, sorry to hear about your dad, Josh. Thoughts with you and your family. Yeah. KC says the same as well.
He asked for a big salary at Marseille and they rejected him.
Tazul says, according to the bubble, everyone needs to hold tight as July's going to be when. Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing, Tazul. Certainly what I've been told with the club and other people, that July will be the new financial year. Everton can cross off this year of the PSR, it's done, we'll be ready to go. So let's hope we can get some things lined up, that's for sure. The Blues says we don't need a backup, we need a starting right back who can also play left back.
Nathan Hamlin's given an update and it's just confused me more.
What does he say?
He says, I was sitting directly in front of the West Ham box. Marvellous Nakamba got swamped by fans and Coufal was up for the banter. Western Ham scored a header in the last minute. There was limbs everywhere. But why would you... Why
are you asking about Luca Dean? That's what we're asking. We want the clarification on whether we could have Dean back.
How would you ask a West Ham player about an Aston Villa player?
Come on, Nate.
It's just confused me more.
Chipper 1878 says, why are we not prepared to pay for a right back instead of looking for free transfers?
It's not really the top of the priority though, is it? Right now. I mean, as you said, we've got three options at right back right now. We've got one at left back.
And 4 if you include James Garner.
Yeah, 4. And then in the midfield, we haven't really got that many options, and the options we do have, the sort of similar players, so it's not like the biggest change. And then right wing, we've got no one. And striker, we've got Beto, and if Schmidt stays, whether it's a loan or whatever. And we've got no keepers, apart from Pickford.
Corin says we need to sign players with pace and potential, Baz. We do, but they're not. You've got to, if you're sitting there thinking Everton are going to sign 8 or 9 players with pace and potential, you're going to be very disappointed in a transfer window that you shouldn't be disappointed, because we'll be bringing players in. There'll be a mix, however that mix plays out. Ringo says Patterson should go back to Rangers. He may well do now. The Selwell's there, mightn't he?
Yeah.
Toffee J says steak no longer showing in sponsors on the official website. New shirt sponsor incoming. Don't think so. It's on the kits that are out there, hasn't it? That have been leaked. I don't know, mate. I couldn't sit here and say that you're wrong, but the latest stuff we were told was Everton have got steak for this year because the final year that they can have it.
He is right though. It's not on any of the sponsors at the bottom. It's interesting.
But then an email went out yesterday with benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3 on. So maybe someone just forgot to put it. But listen, I honestly don't know, mate. I couldn't say they're definitely not on, Jay. I'm just saying. But when I asked, I don't know, it must have been a month ago, was told that there was no plans to change them for this year because obviously after the end of this coming season, 25-26, you can't have betting sponsors on front of shirts anymore. So unless commercial have been able to get someone in paying over 20 odd million, I think a lot of people would be delighted if it was a different sponsor. Certainly one that's smaller would be nice. I'll try and find out, but as far as I'm aware, it's going to be steak. But I could be wrong on. Well, I'm wrong, but the latest thing I was told was it was steak for the year. But who knows? Who knows? You might well be. There might be something in it. Gavin says I would have preferred Tarek Lamptey, but won't happen because he's just re-signed for Brighton. So I'll go for Walker Peters. Yeah, Corin, I'm with you, mate. I want wingers who are quick and direct. We've got our winger video coming out today, haven't we? 3 o'clock.
If you're a Premier member, it's out now.
Yeah, if you're a Premier member, you've probably watched it, because lots have. But if you're not and you're a YouTube member, then it comes out at 3 o'clock today. So make sure you check it out. Let us know if you agree with some of our choices or who you'd include in that. Barry Wall says KWP covers both sides. Ken says I've just opened the Everton app and steak is still on the opening screen at the bottom on the main option page. It's still on the top right. Yeah, listen, don't know. Like I said, the latest information I had was with the sponsors for this season because it ends anyway, because it's got to end next summer. El Tel says Luca Dean be boss. We got him back. We got him, but Villa wants 20 million. He's 32. Yeah, you can't be paying that. You cannot be paying anything like that amount for a player that age. Just can't be.
His contract ends next year.
A year to go. Yeah. Be crazy. Good player though. Very good player. Great left foot.
Yeah. It'd be great to have, wouldn't he? But
oh, of course, yeah.
It makes sense.
Him and Mikalenko be a cracking pair to have. But yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Just watch, John. Just watch. People can throw names out, but you only have to wait an hour and a half. It's sound. Go and have a little watch of it. Lots of you are enjoying the videos, so that's good. We're loving making them because it's positive and it gives us something to focus on as well. So, yeah, and we're looking forward to making a lot of these over the summer with actual signings where we can get right into them and how they're going to improve us or whatever, or what the thinking is maybe behind it. So, we'll see. Steven Seagal says Baz and Jai on current form is a better player than Jack Grealish. On current form, yeah. Yeah. But overall, Jack Grealish is a better player than Jai. And I love Illiman and Jai. Now, will he be a better player than Illiman and Jai next season? Don't know, but Illiman and Jai's been better this last season. Yeah. Of course he has. So wouldn't it be good if we ended up with both of them and they were both brilliant? That's all that matters, really, isn't it? Feds, yes, he did text me back yesterday. I put a vote. What?
Did he ask how did you know?
He didn't know, because he obviously knows. I put a photo on the Anything Else and Peyton chat for people to have a giggle at the woman behind them on the plane taking a slide pic. Yeah. He'll be away enjoying his break. Well, where are you? Where are you staying? In Malaga, or have you gone off somewhere else? Right, where are we? Here. Martin Armstrong says, I'd have neither, to be honest. I think Walker Peters wants a London club move. Oh, he said that to me, bringing him back. Max says, can't wait to see we get up as a backup goalkeeper. Moyes has a funny record of random second choices we never see. Stefan Wessels, Carlo Nash, Sander Westerveld, Eston Bardson. We've been linked with Walter Benitez today. He's speaking to Palace, but he's got other clubs to speak to, and apparently Everton are one of them. He's leaving Eindhoven, he's free. He's 32, but I don't know whether he'd want to come. And mind you, he'd be going to sit on Palace's bench because, according to the press, Dean Henderson's...
Yeah, he's the best in the world. Ballon d'Or.
So. Nathan Garrity says, how much money do you think we'll spend, Bass? Not cash, but spread out cost. I expect Everton to spend over 100 million, easily, because 100 million is nothing. It's nothing in modern day football. The champions are going to spend well over 300 million, and they're already champions. So I expect Everton to spend well over 100 million. Leeds will do it. Burnley will probably do it. Now, when that comes down to cash, that's only 30, 40 million quid. Well, Everton match day income alone goes from 19 million to 55 plus. There's room there. It also got the insurance of maybe selling a Brandthwaite next summer, as well as all the other stuff that's kicking in, the Hill Dickinson money and all that. So there is room to spend that kind of money, and as long as you get the right deals in terms of amortisation and stuff, you can comfortably spend that money. Or Everton can for the first time for a while. So that's what I would expect. Will he do it? I don't know. It's not, it's only 33 million pound players, which is nothing there. Liverpool are spending on that more than that on one player. So
mental.
Lou says Walker Peters all day for me, can cover left as well, irrespective of that. He's actually a pretty good footballer. Bappy says, afternoon lads, I'd rather go for Nelson Semedo now that he's left Wolves.
He wants a lot of money though, and he'd want to be first choice, wouldn't he? But would he be first choice?
I don't know.
Do you think Semedo's good enough for Everton's first team?
He was good a few years ago. I'm not convinced he's still right at the very top.
He's the right back, isn't he? Where it was Bayern Munich, Barca in the Champions League semi-final, and he gets absolutely done by Alphonso Davies.
That's not a bad thing.
No, but
that's not
just, that's all. I always remember that from him. Just don't get it whacked past him.
Yeah. Luke says, obviously nothing down for Patterson with all these links. I genuinely thought he'd come good. Well, they are just links. There might be, there might be nothing in it. They're just easy links. We'll link with everybody, aren't we? So we'll see. Matt says, would you pay for Lamptey now he signed a new contract? No. Because we should have just gone and offered him one.
Yeah.
So that he didn't sign a new contract. Paul Davies says, saw Roman Dixon outside the ground against Southampton and he had a strapping on his foot and was on crutches. Hopefully the injury isn't too bad. Luke says, here there's a solid young left back a few leagues down we should be looking at. He's probably looking to leave his club anyways. His name's Thierry Small.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Stephen says Walter Maid looks a player. See the story yesterday saying he's turned Everton down?
No.
When you actually read it, it just says he won't ask for the transfer.
No, but it's just he's turned Everton down.
Everton Viking says we really need to be picky how we invest our money this summer, even when it comes to backups. Yes, we need some squad players, but they have to actually be able to contribute. And what we need is more first team. No signings for money if they're over 25. We need fast, athletic and technical players. We need to be so smart, but also not invest with short-term thinking. We need players we can develop and grow. If we sign the likes of Souček and older experienced players, I will just be frustrated because even if we improve short-term, we regress long-term.
But you need some experience as well, purely to get the best out of the young. Like, they're all going to hit the ground running. Or like a Jack Grealish makes sense because you go and sign like a young winger who can sort of learn from him, but also...
Well, and I'd learn from him.
Yeah.
Maybe McNeil and others.
So it makes sense. Like a Sucher, like signing a Coufal or a Walker-Peters saves us spending money on a right-back now. And then we can spend it on a better player and then spend buy the right-back next year sort of thing, isn't it?
I think you're going to be frustrated. Because Everton won't sign 8 or 9 players who are all
like 20.
23, 24, and that'll be it. They just won't.
Yeah.
So therefore, if that's what you're holding it to, you're going to be frustrated. For me, I'm looking at it about balance. If the majority of what we bring in are like 23 and under, 24, 23, I'll be really delighted with it. And then if 1 or 2 are a bit older, so be it. But that's just the manager, so we'll see. But you are right, we have got to be careful. Nathan says, for the banter, guys, it's the closest I've got to a Premier League game, and I had no idea we were sitting so close to the players' box. I had to Google Coufal and show him his own picture to confirm it was him.
It's still really
Nathan
random.
hasn't answered it, has he?
No.
Why are you asking Coufal if we can have Lucas Dean?
They've never played together.
Just let us know. That's all we're asking. The other bits are great, Nate, and the banter's brilliant, but confirm why you were asking Coufal's permission for us to get Lucas Dean. That's what we want. Jay says, my personal reaction is go for Walker-Peters as he can cover 2 fullback positions. However, MOYES work with Coufal, and if he goes with them, I'll trust his judgment. Pat says, if we were to spend moderately on a quick right back who gets up and down, plus it puts a good ball in, and he brings McNeil into play for right wing, reducing the need to get 2 right wingers in. No, we need a right winger. Let's not again. We're still doing that thing of going, why are we trying to get Dwight McNeil in to the team?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If Dwight McNeil gets in the team, great, it means he's doing something right, that's brilliant, but we can't forego the number 1 priority really just to put Dwight McNeil in the team. A right winger with pace should be Everton's number 1 priority this summer.
Yeah.
Then a striker, then a central midfield player. Me personally, if I've got the budget, it's at least 1 striker, if not 2. It's 2 right wingers to start.
Yeah.
Then it's a left back. Then I might look at a right back, a centre back. But we need a centre midfield player as well, if not 2.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've lost 2, haven't we?
We've lost 2 right wingers.
No, we've lost 2 midfielders.
And we've lost 2 midfield players. So. Paddy says, I feel that because we've got O'Brien who did the grand job for the better half of the season, why don't we attempt to get some unknown younger players to build up for our 27 Champions League win? Makes sense to me.
I like the thinking.
It makes sense to me. Buck says, lads, I'm getting a bit confused, which doesn't take a lot. How much is the Everton Football Club membership for the 25-26 season?
There's 2 options, isn't there? Where one's 35 and one's 60. You get benefit 1, benefit 2, and benefit 3 if you buy some of them, so whatever that means.
And we don't know what those benefits are. Yeah. Where am I? Paul Gold says, the alleged kits for this new season, what's your thoughts on them? I'm okay with them, not that I'll buy them. I
don't think the home kit's as bad as people make out. I quite like it.
Yeah, home kit.
The away kit, I think the collar's a bit weird, but apart from that.
The home kit's fine. I think it's a bit different.
Yeah.
It's got the waves on because they're going to the dock.
I mean,
don't get waves in the Mersey, but fair play. But it's got, that's there. So fair enough. They've tried something slightly different. Otherwise, we're just redoing the same home shirt, aren't we, every year? The away kit looks the same as this year's away kit, but without the pinstripe. To me, I do like the sleeve. If that's what it is, and I think it probably is. I do like the bit on the sleeve. I don't mind the collar. I think the collar's all right. As long as the shorts are the colour of what the stake is and the sleeve, then it'll look nice.
Yeah.
And then the third one will be totally different. I won't be buying them for me. Jack will probably want them, but obviously I'm not going to be buying them, am I? So looks all right.
If you had to predict the third kit, what colour would you say?
Amber.
Amber? I think they're going to go wacky and be like purple.
I thought I knew. I thought it was no silver was last year. I don't know. The kit's got Everton badge on. Bappy says Sile Kumbidi from Leon will only be a couple of million and desperate to raise funds. I don't know whether he will only be a couple of million. Big John Sexter's loving it, getting the money in. Glenn says James O'Brien. Who'd win in a charity wrestling match between WWE superstar turned movie star turned cultural icon Hulk Hogan and the bear fighting mohawk wearing Soviet cyclone Zangief from Street Fighter 2?
I'll be honest, I've never played Street Fighter 2 Turbo, whatever, so I'll Google him. Oh, Zangief, he's a big fella in him. He's got a mohawk too, which gives him extra points.
Yeah, let's go there. Jay Radcliffe says, Ped labelled me Toffee TV's Leicester correspondent last week, so on that note, I can tell you Ricardo Pereira's looking to move away from him. Right back and can play a double pivot in midfield. They're cheap, injury record, not great. Good player, isn't he? Pereira. James Justin's good as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
not the left back that we've been linked to, though.
No, God, Christensen.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Everton Viking says, also, I feel like we actually need to start getting closer, finalising some deals for July. I know not lots of clubs have signed players yet, but not every club needs to sign about 10 players like us. I want us to take risks, get some young players we can develop who already have a bit about them. As nice as Grealish should be, I'd rather spend money on a young, creative, pacey wide man who we'd actually own ourselves. Well, we should be getting both.
Yeah, I think we will get both.
That's the top and bottom of it. Kevin Johansson says, hi you super smart people, if we can spend around 200 million, I don't think we can spend 200 million this summer, but I hope we do, says Kev. Striker, Tierno Barry and Burkhardt for 55 million. I think it'd be more than that, to be honest. More like 65 million. Rafael Lau, he ain't leaving Milan for Everton.
Yeah, he does want to leave, but also he's not leaving for 55 million.
No. Jack Grealish on loan, Madueke on loan, and either Bakayoko or Dorgeles for 20 million. Angel Gomez, well, he's gone to Marseille, so we can't have him. Diarra and Macau, 40 million. Juve or Nets, 10 million. Left back, Lindelof or Zuma free, Walker Peters free, Fabianski. That'd still be less than 200 million, so there'd still be room for others. And Waste Dyke takes over one of the promoter teams. We can sell him McNeil for 25 million. I like it. It's very football manager, but I like it. There's a lot of talent there, but we wouldn't. They've got no chance of getting Rafael Lau.
Yeah.
And he's a left winger, and we really have probably got to stop buying left wingers.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get him for 55 million, I'd take him.
But we'd have Njai, McNeil, Grealish in this example. No.
He's good enough.
Nice quality, but no. Some of the other ones are good shouts, though. Max says, bring me Mikel Antonio just for the crack. No, let's not do that. Derek says, I lads, cheap for left back, Walter Peters for right back, cheap and free. Okay. Luke says, saw some posts yesterday with us welcoming Chicago Bears on the screens at the Hilly Willy Stadium. Got any inside info on that? Nope. Nothing.
No, I did see it, but I don't know what it's for.
Don't know what it means. Maybe we're playing the Chicago Bears in the last test event. Thinking outside the box at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Steve Seagal says, ChatGPT, final take analysis lens, and Jai's a potent direct forward winger with excellent dribbling and finishing. He adds defensive energy but needs to develop in chance creation. Grealish is a world-class ball carrier and creator. His underperformance stems from tactical constraints at City rather than a drop in underlying ability. Tactical fit for counter-attack based teams, and Jai directness and goal efficiency are gold. For possession-orientated, creativity-needy systems, Grealish is dramatically more impactful.
Dramatically.
There you go. Kev Maloney says upgrade on Garner is more important than an upgrade on O'Brien. Yeah, we need a backup right back, which could be Garner. Fair play. Fair play. Listen, we don't know. The reason why we're talking about the two fullbacks we're talking about is they're in the news and being linked with Everton, so we're going to discuss it. SpongeBob on the super chat, thank you very, very much, mate, for your contribution. When you do a super chat, I would like you to put a comment so I can sort of read out your comments as well. But there you go. Fast Eddie says, just took a bet off 2 mates that Everton finish above Leeds. Leeds are going to be relegated.
Yeah. Leeds are linked to absolutely every player in the world as well.
So, yeah. The three that get promoted, in my opinion, will be the 3 that go down again. Leeds will do well if they get 30 points. They'll have done really well. They get above 30 points. Liam says, Baz, do you reckon there's any chance the Friedkin group may sell the women's team? God knows, Liam. God knows. To ourselves, yeah. I don't know. I have no idea, mate. Celtic Vape says, wonder if we're getting any cash in the Amazon Prime advert in the stadium. I don't know. Gavin says, Baz, do you think Grealish loan, McAtee, Diarra, Barry, Walker, Peters, Walter Benitez and a couple of loans would be a great window? Yeah, I think it'd be a very, very good window, yeah. I do. Sean says, Baz, if City said now to release or give us him on a free transfer and we pay the remaining salary rather than an option to buy Grealish, I don't know how much that'd be worth though, Sean.
We have to pay what is loan?
Man, you don't know because his wages are 300 odd grand a week. No, because it'd kill the wage bill. No. It'd have City, for Everton to get Jack Grealish, Manchester City would have to pay 2/3 of his wages and it'd have to just be a loan. Everton, I don't see a way that Everton buy Jack Grealish, and we certainly ain't paying him 300 grand a week. So, Eltel says, trust Moyes with the players better than a sporting director. Do you think it's the end of a sporting director at Everton?
I think under Moyes he likes a lot of control, doesn't he?
Mm.
So, and he didn't get on with West Ham's day as sporting director, and he didn't get on with him either, did he? He had like an argument or something with people at West Ham. He tried to get involved with like transfers and stuff like that. So I don't think
banned the sporting director from the training ground.
Yeah. So I feel like if he doesn't get on with them, and he's proven at Everton he can do it all sort of by himself anyway, so let him have it.
Mm. Yeah.
Someone put in the chat as well, ask ChatGPT who should be the Everton manager after David Moyes, and the first person when you ask it is Sean Dyche.
Shows that ChatGPT needs to be retired.
Number 1, Sean Dyche. Number 2, Leighton Baines or Seamus Coleman. Number 3, Davide Ancelotti. Yeah,
because it's just tough who's been in and around it. Hash says, can you hear them crying next door? Baz over Trent learning Spanish.
Did you see that? He done this full first interview in Spanish.
Shut up.
Like fluent, yeah.
I love it.
I haven't watched the video.
That means he's been doing it for 2 years. Yeah. I love it. Well done, Trent.
That is funny.
That one is funny. Casey says it appears Trent's fall off in form is down to his late night at Spanish linguistics school in Kirby.
That is funny. That must play with Liverpool fans' heads who already lost their head over it, that he's been learning Spanish to be able to speak to it like in a fluent level for that long.
Yeah.
That he's had plans to go to Real Madrid probably for years.
JS has linked to Ruben Gocher, who's that? He's a 16-year-old centre-back at Charlton, very, very highly rated. According to reports, looks like Everton have sorted it.
Oh, is it?
That's what they say. I have no idea at the moment, but
is that something you're happy that you've seen Everton do more of? That there's like like the Braden Grahams, and then you see
you've got it. We've got to, haven't we?
Because they're doing really well.
We need someone in at the academy who can get back get back into Liverpool and Merseyside and Manchester and start getting people back here.
Yeah.
It's gone to pot, really. You know, when we had Neil Juichnip on inside the game and he was talking about the lengths they went to convince kids, good kids, to come, and all of those players that he had, most of them have got a career in football.
Yeah.
You know, some of them have played back in the Premier League and things like that. We've just gone the other way.
Yeah.
Really. So yeah, really. I mean, Kevin Thelwell did say we haven't been able to invest really because every penny had to go to the first team. But last summer we did bring in Kieran Loney. Okay, he's had a bit of a hit and miss first season at Everton as a kid, but he'll develop. He's massive, 6'4". Braden Graham's obviously done really well, and they got the lad.
Centre half one.
Tam.
That Allard one as well, isn't it? When they signed him.
The Welsh kid, yeah, he's done really well. Allard Thomas, is it?
Yeah.
And we've got the other lad, Taman, is it? The centre back who they got from Wimbledon, and obviously they've got the winger who they got from Wimbledon. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, they got Taman from Burton. And they got the winger from Wimbledon, Justin Clark, who's very good. I'm not sure how he's done. But they're the ones who are doing really well and the ones they're looking at. So we need to do more of it, yeah. Because they should be bought, developed them either in our team or sold.
Or loaned out, yeah.
So, Kieran says for this window, priority 1 to striker. As a minimum, right winger, right back, anything else is a bonus.
As a minimum, though, that's 3 players.
I mean, we need 8 or 9, and we'll get 9. Or 8 or 9, probably. B says, could we not take Grealish on loan and take 2 of City's crap players and make a package discount? Their worst players improve us dramatically. Just go and get some of their worst. If FGS want to give us something, right? FTS, well, not FTS, TFG, because someo's put FTS there. FSG, someone's put. TFG want to give Everton someone from Roma. We'll have Manu Kone, please.
Yeah.
In midfield. We'll have him. Take him. We'll do your swap. Tryler says.
Return, though.
Do it.
You can have him return for him.
Someone.
James Garner.
If he wants. They can loan Chimity. Go to Serie A and tear it up, then we'll have him back. Michael Fang says, watch the video on midfield recruitment. Think we should try and loan Dewsbury Hall. Good as box-to-box, experienced, hungry to prove himself.
Yeah.
And send Harrison Armstrong on loan to a better side. Okay. SpongeBob says, sorry Baz, just come home from work and wanted to buy you chaps a coffee or whatever. Love the effort you all put in. My number 1 source for all that is Everton News. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. You didn't have to, but thank you very much. I'd rather you just become a Premier member, SpongeBob. Really, but thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Samuel Ram says, I feel like Grealish should have the same job as Njai, but he's like half as good on current form. But we need more than one, don't we? We're all on the edge of our seat with one player. No, we have done it. Not everyone, but a lot of Evertonians have dumbed down of like, what's a good football? We just dragged it right down. If you run around now, we can't do without you if you can take a corner. You know, come on. Look at the levels of those teams above.
Yeah.
Like the teams near the top. Look at Aston Villa. One of the best games I watched last season was Villa Newcastle. Villa blew them apart, but it was a cracking game. And Villa Forest, to be fair, that was a good game. But watching them just fly forward with talented footballers, Villa aren't going, they weren't going. We've got Leon Bailey and we've got Rodgers, so we're not getting Asensio, Rashford, we're not getting Disassi, all of these clubs are collecting players who are really good. They're not worried about who they've got.
Yeah, well, look at Chelsea. I mean, they're probably...
Well, they're stupid.
But they're getting rid of Madueke and signing 8 more wingers to replace them.
Yeah, it's mad. It is mad. Graham Rodgers says, I always knew Trent was all right underneath. He did see Barry came on last night for France under 21s and they come on after 62 minutes and nearly scored immediately within about 90 seconds. Keepers made a great save, but all the French media was saying he turned the game and he come on for them, like got them playing. So Everton need to get get on that quickly if you
just
can.
waiting now, isn't it? Just for the window to open again.
Mm-hmm. The Blue says Coney is unreal. Baz been a fan since before he was at Roma. I was going to put him in our midfield thing, but I was like, nah, we've got no chance of getting him. But he's a good option, definitely. He was good last week, actually, against Spain. Spain, wasn't it? He was very good. He was
linked with Liverpool, though, wasn't he? Coney. Yeah.
So was Kefren Soran, wasn't he? It was like 3 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, Philip, seeing we've been linked with Walter Benitez, he's apparently speaking to 3 or 4 clubs. Steve P says Man City have just signed Naipan. What a talent. He is a hugely talented footballer. SR, that's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping Everton do the deals now. And on July the 1st, big ticks. Big ticks. Chipper says, looking at players who'd improve us. Mateus Fernandes, Andy Diouf, Tierno Barry, Flavio Nazino all took my eye in the Portugal-France game last night.
What a name, that is. Flavio Nazino.
Yeah, it's a belter. It's an absolute belter.
I want him just for his name. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah. Thomas says just try and get the player anyway. Dybala, I think he mentioned. You'd be all day with that.
Oh, yeah, I'd take Dybala. Absolutely. He's just a cool guy, isn't he?
We need good players, not killed.
What was the striker did he sign? That
he's a good player. He's that Premier League. I think it'd be too hairy-berry for him.
I know, but he was just like prime when you're little and you watch like highlight players.
Oh, it's a left
highlight player.
Beautiful, yeah. You've got to have these players on these streams, James.
Yeah,
haven't you?
Take Dolphins as well.
What was the point?
Same with El Shaarawy.
No, El Shaarawy. No.
Where like on a highlight he looks.
Yeah, he's a highlight real player. Yeah. Jonathan Ricketts says would look at sending Patterson to Rangers and getting Raskin in at right back. Be cheaper than a decent CM. Mike Raff says I can't believe how harsh you are to the best player in our history. Paul Davies says as long as it's not blue socks, then the shirt can look like whatever. See, I'd love it to be blue socks. I hate blue, white. As Everton's own kit. I'd rather it be blue, white, blue. Bappy says, in all fairness, we've already got 3 right backs, including Jake. No point spending extra wages on a freebie for the sake of it. I want to see a 6, an 8, a winger, a young understudy, and 2 strikers. Fair enough, mate. Matt says, feels so refreshing. We are looking to loan or buy players that are better than what we have rather than selling to appease PSR. Correct. Steven Seagal says, would you straight swap Grealish with Ndiaye? No, I want both of them. If you'd ask me. I don't even... Jack Grealish isn't even really on my radar. It's just that he keeps getting mentioned. So you look and go, is he a quality player? He's got loads of quality. So would I have him? Yeah. Because I want quality players at Everton, but he's not someone I'm going, oh my God, I hope we get Grealish. I want a fast right winger. Yeah. Is what I want, really. And a striker first. Jonathan says, would you take McAtee or Pino from Villarreal in the right wing if you could only have one? Who would you go for, McAtee or Yeremy Pino?
I'll be honest, I don't know loads about Yeremy Pino, and I've researched McAtee a lot recently, so I'm firmly on the McAtee train as well. But he's not really that. Is Pino sort of that a fast winger, or is he sort of similar?
He can move like.
Because McAtee's not that like rapid winger. He's like a forward winger.
Yeah,
he's like really good on the ball and intricate like passing, and can be a midfielder.
Okay. Jonathan Ricketts says, did you see Maguire talking about United's PSR, saying because the company is in debt in the USA, it can't be done by PSR, and the company owning United is only 35 million in the red. Yeah, it's all manipulated to suit the big clubs.
Yeah,
and no matter what happens, the Premier League will bow down to Liverpool and Manchester United. They don't know where's the City verdict that was out in March. It's June.
It's got postponed a few more months now, isn't it? Till the end of the summer.
That's it.
How's that? Yeah.
Chelsea admitted guilt on what they'd done. Got a fine by UEFA immediately, but the Premier League is still investigating it. 2 years later.
Yeah.
Everton build a stadium and are hammered immediately.
Yeah.
It's all done to keep their favourite 6 clubs where they want them, which is getting all of it. United, they don't want United, who've just finished 16th in the Premier League, not being able to go and spend money this summer, which might bring them back up to where they want them, because United are the name they trade on.
Yeah.
It's Man United, there's probably the second biggest club in world football. They're the biggest club in England by quite some distance. Then it's Liverpool. They're the top 2 clubs, United and Liverpool, whether we like it or not, they are. And then it's Arsenal in terms of eyes and people and all that. So they don't want Manchester United down near the bottom of the league. It's terrible for their brand.
Yeah.
They'll sort of allow last season, the Premier League, they'll want to give them as much encouragement and help as they can.
It's the same reason why City probably won't get any into them, because of all the big names City have got. And the eyes that they're going to bring in. Like,
mate, at the end of the day, right, they've got too much power.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's basically a TV show to the Premier League. They're not really bothered as long as Liverpool, United, City or Arsenal, Chelsea win the title. They're not bothered about anyone else in the league. They just want
the 1 year where they have a Leicester.
And they don't mind. They've literally said that. The aim is to manipulate it 1 year, so a team outside the big... They said this. Masters, I think, has said this, or Scudamore, that he'd left. It was built to do that. And then they've built that. And United will get loads of penalties this next season, guarantee you. They'll get tons of penalties.
Yeah.
And they'll be given every helping hand they can, because they won't want United where they are. And so things like going, oh yeah, they done it last, they give them a bigger thing on PSR than anyone, bigger relief because of COVID that they just threw in. Yeah, you can have what, and it doesn't matter about that. So it's all nonsense. Sadly, we're not in the club, so we'll get done. Look at Villa, look at Newcastle. All eyes on Villa and Newcastle.
Even Palace right now, isn't the stuff with the texter where they might not even be able to play in the Europa League?
Palace are in trouble now.
City
with that.
Own Girona and everyone. Chelsea have Strasbourg and other clubs.
Well, it's more
United have Nice as well.
It's more debt though with the texter thing, isn't it?
But it's the multi-club ownership thing as well.
But because the multi-clubs are owned by someone who's in debt, where the other clubs aren't, are they? But it is all of that stuff. That's just the way it is. That's modern football, and people have been asleep to it. You know, I've said for ages, it's almost like wrestling. They decide what's going to happen before you kick a ball on the game, and VAR's just helped them. VAR has just helped them do that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it'd be the other way. I was a big sort of supporter of VAR. I was like, they're not going to be able to sort of get away with it now.
They get away with it more.
It's even worse. They're now doing it in plain sight.
Yeah.
You're seeing like the Ashley Young penalty against United, which is a penalty.
Yeah.
Going, nah, not a pen. When they'd lost the game, the referee gives it. He's getting told to change his mind. You know, we've seen this lately. We've seen it where referees are arguing. I seen it. I was at Fulham when he got sent to the screen, despite giving a corner and shaking his head. He got sent to the screen, and fair play to the referee. You could see he was arguing with them, going, I'm not fucking giving a penalty for that. No chance. He shook his head, laughed, shook his head, and walked away and gave the corner. And I was like, mate, well done. Because you're getting told to give a penalty by some fellas who probably, you know, who knows what their motivation is for trying to do it. And he didn't. He actually stood firm, and it's sad, but that's few and far between. Those things when the referees, you know, we've been a bad victim to some of these terrible decisions over the last few years to help
other people,
different things, but conversely, the other way, alternately, clubs like United get most decisions. Liverpool have had unbelievable decisions given for them when people are kicking their own feet and getting penalties, even when VAR's there. But that just happens when you're a team near the top. They go with you, and if you're a team near the top who's a big name, you get patted on the back. If you're trying to be a disruptor club like Newcastle and Villa and Forest, you're now getting looked at.
You get done,
criticised. You can't spend any money.
Going through your books,
you're looking through this, looking through that, looking through the other. And that's just the way it is. To be fair, it's been like that for 25, 30 years. We've seen the thing that came out last season with the letter that Liverpool sent to the Premier League with Arsenal when I think it might have been for Man City when City got the thing saying, right, we have to stop this. We can't have another club being able to be bought. So we want to protect us in this league. And it got leaked last year, and it's like, what hope have you got when them teams who've got all the money, all the power, are running the league for their own ends? What hope have you got there? Yeah. You know, how can Liverpool go and spend 300 odd million, which they will this summer, but Newcastle are getting looked at when they've got loads of wealth and other clubs? I'm not picking on Liverpool, just that at the moment they've spent so much money. It's been normally Man City. How have Chelsea been? Chelsea are a better example than Liverpool, to be fair. Look at what Chelsea have spent and just continue to spend. How's that any good for the league? What the league needs to do, all of them, and it might actually just mean you've got to be a better football manager when you're at the top, not just cure it with doing whatever you want. The league needs to put a cap on what you can spend and go, the most any club can spend is 100 million. That's it. So if Liverpool want Florian Wirtz, they either get the deal done for 100 million, that's all he can buy, or they go and get a different player and Florian Wirtz gets binned. And that should be the way it's done, because the lowest club in the Premier League coming up should be able to spend exactly the same as the top club. Yeah. And those clubs that are coming up can. They can spend 100 million if they want to. It's a big risk. It's a big risk. Yeah. That's the only way you're ever gonna. And then it comes down to good recruitment and good management. Yeah. Because now,
because that's what lots of like La Liga fans and stuff were when I was looking at the Tieno Barry stuff, saying like, we just qualify for the Champions League and Everton finish 13th. How are we buying Tieno Barry? And it's like the Premier League just too big now.
Milan. Yeah. Last year or the year, Milan said we can't compete with Bournemouth. Milan. That tells you there's a huge issue in the world football. Yeah. So it won't ever happen because the clubs are too powerful. Them six are too powerful. But that's what should happen for the good of the game. Yeah. And then it will come down to how good's your manager. It might make clubs go, we need to drop our prices as well then. You know? That's the only way you're going to make it better. It's having a league where Chelsea can just go and spunk 500 million every summer and other clubs can spend 20 million and that's it, 30 million. Then there's no competition in that. No. And all you're doing is, and this again, I've said this before, these promoted teams come. It's why I laugh when I see things like Leeds will finish above it. It's just embarrassing. When people say that, they show no knowledge of football, because it's so difficult to be able to do that. Yeah. Leeds might, but when people say it with a certainty, you go, we had this 2 years ago, Burnley pissed that championship and we're going to finish 11th. Yeah. They'd won 4 games, I think, all season or something. You know, Ipswich done it last year. They had a little swing at it this year, but they had no chance. The gap, this is what the Premier League's creating. Such a gulf between them and teams in the Championship. Yeah. Now, one season, one of the 3 promoted might cling on for dear life and do it and get 17, and then they can build. Then they might be able to build and build and build. But we've got to be careful that it doesn't become 17 teams are solid there's no chance any of them 17 are going, and the 3 that are promoted are just coming up for a year to get some money and to come back to be stronger. Now, if they do that a few times, one of the seasons they do come back up, they should be strong enough to maybe battle with that 17th, but there is a gulf there. Yeah. And you might end up with a 23 team Premier League near enough, which means that 6 clubs just go up and down.
Yeah, just keep swapping.
And every now and again you pull in one of the ones who haven't really done. They have a bit of a ropey season. Yeah. Because there can't be the gulf in spending, and there is a gulf in spending. When City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal can spend crazy money every summer, you've already got the run on everyone, and they're already near the top. And so they've already got the best players, and so they get more income. So it almost becomes virtually impossible to displace them. It isn't impossible, but virtually. Yeah.
And it's the players that, like an Aston Villa or a Newcastle, have to sell. It'd be a Man City or a Liverpool or whatever buying them, so they get stronger as well.
That's crazy. Mendoza, Gilgore, they'll finish now. says, with Hammond coming in, do you think we'd be widening our scope to scout and burgeoning talent from Japan? I heard Hammond was behind the Tanaka for it. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think so. But who knows? Hakon says, just in, Man City have signed Norway's biggest talent, Sver Nijpan from Rosenborg, €15 million. He's 18. Yeah, he's very, very good. He's very good. I just don't get how they continue to get away with this while we are fighting to get geriatric overpaid players. Because they're already a top side, playing in loads of competitions, making money, and are well run and well organised. We're at the beginning of a new cycle, aren't we? We have to hope that this cycle puts us in a better position moving forward. Everton might have gone for Nijpan and he's just gone, nah, no thanks. Want to go to City. Or, no, you've got no... You know, Everton have got to become more... And I think we have become more attractive. But, yeah. Right. Let's have a look there. The last one there. Super chat is Daily Freckles. Nice one, mate. Says, hello lads, Branthwaite overlooked again on Sky Sports Writer's Choice World Cup 11. Do you think the lack of attention could push him away? No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. By all accounts, Everton are preparing a new contract for Branthwaite. So I don't know. What he's got to do, he's got to get in back. He's in Everton team, but he's got to come back next season and just keep doing what he's doing and play well. And if Everton are starting from a better point, which they should be, then he'll get looked at more. But Steve Carlisle says, the quote at the time from the Premier League says, can do without too many Leicester Cities. It's bad for business. Yeah, remember that, Steve? Which is crazy, isn't it? Because you think you're playing in a league where everyone's got the whole idea of competition is everyone's got a chance to win, and yet they've sort of shaped it now where everyone hasn't got a chance to win, and they make you believe, because of the money and all that, they make you believe that just staying in the league, just being a Premier League team is successful. They're not bothered whether you can win it. We don't really want you to win it because we just want to share it between these ones who all the money comes in for. It's sad, really. But there you go. Right, we're done. There's a video out at 3 o'clock, which is Wingers, who me and James have gone through. Some we think Everton should look at, so go and check that out at 3. The midfield one, the attacking one's done very well. Thank you very much. If you haven't watched them, watch them, put a comment on. Even if you've already watched them, make sure you leave a comment. Right, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, do all that. See you later.